and that this whole program is a part of, is something that I have watched develop in the course of my own semi-educated lifetime. And it is one of the reassuring phenomena of a time when the world in many respects seems to be disintegrating, and the animosities and the anger and the destruction are just part of every morning's terrible news. The thing of encouraging, listening for, calling out, and then working with young children who are just coming to the use of language, and doing this in a society where the use of language is almost entirely directed into the language of information, the language that is used for economic purposes and for organizational purposes in the society at large. The direction of it toward poetry, toward the listening to some other dimension altogether, and to language as another dimension of one's self and of one's relation to the world. That's something quite different. And I think all children are born with it. And it usually gets dropped by the wayside as being useless. It is useless. It's divinely useless. You look at the night sky. What is the use of the night sky? The answer of the night sky to that question is, what is the use of you? Poetry is not about use. It is about it's about you. It's about who you are, and children and with children, as they discover that side of language, whether it's in nursery rhymes, if they still learn nursery rhymes, or anything that leads them to it, there's pleasure, there's joy in it. You see them repeating things, and that's part of it. With poetry, you repeat the language. With economic prose, you don't. I mean, it's pure information. But if you hear a phrase, if a child hears a phrase, even a very small child hears a phrase they don't like, they'll repeat it. And the first syllables, already it's both the language of use and the language of repetition, which is the language of poetry. That's the language that you as teachers are bringing out, and it's there in children. Some children have it more readily and more closer to the surface and closer to the surface than others. But where it's really alive, it's unmistakable, and it's contagious too. I mean, if they start doing it, it's the way. If people start playing games, everybody wants to get into the game. So I think what this program is greatly hopeful, keeping that dimension of language alive in children, and hoping that it will stay with them for the rest of their lives. I think the things that you learn and come to and arrive at and discover with the help of other people, of your elders at that age, are with you for the rest of your life. I can still remember my mother reading poems to me when I was a child, a small child, 4 years old, and hearing my father, whose sermons bored the daylights out of me, reading the Psalms and the prophets from the pulpit. I didn't know whether I was religious, whatever that means, or not, but I knew that was a kind of language that I cared about passionately, just the moment I heard it. And I think children can pick that up, can pick up that kind of language and love it, and repeat it, and they'll find them saying it to themselves. And that's the other thing about language, repetition. Repetition carried on from one person to another for the sake of pleasure. So that's what I hear here, and it's greatly encouraging to me, and I think you're all doing, the teachers are doing, and what an invaluable work you're doing. I'm happy to be on the fringes of it, looking at it this morning.